Hi, it's Dr. Games, and today I've got another Gamer Skills video. Today the topic is how you change the menu, just the written language, in a Blu-ray disc. And this is based on a user/watcher request subscriber. And the first thing I want to point out is that I've talked a lot about how you change the video features. I think we've got 3 videos out in that series now. And you are all pretty familiar with that. So you change the video using whatever combination of programs, and we've talked about a lot of different things about how to demux and remux, and there are commercial and there are free programs to do all that. Then you use TS Muxer to come up with a clip file as well as the M2TS, and then we put it all back together with BD Edit to ensure that the Blu-ray will work. With changing the menu, it's just the opposite. I'm going to say that again. With changing the menu, it's just the opposite. What we're going to try to do is keep the video as close to the original as possible. And I use FFmpeg. There's different ways to do it. But what you want to do is you want to create a cloned video. Just use the file system to swap. Leave everything else the same, and that gives you your new Blu-ray. Now I'm going to go ahead and go through the process, and I'm going to show you. So for today, I've got BD Edit, I got BD Info, and I'm going to explain that, and I'm going to use FFmpeg, which is a command line program. So if we go to BD Info, which you guys are familiar with, and we look at my original Blu-ray that I have here, it only shows 2 playlists. And actually, that's not going to do us any good because it doesn't tell us anything at all about the menu. So actually, in actuality, BD Info does not do you a lot of good in this particular case. So we got to go right to BD Edit. Although we're not going to edit the video. What we are going to do instead is we notice that on here, on BD Edit, it shows 3 separate playlists. And we're going to take a look at each of those. So the 00, it shows that it has an audio, it has a video, it's got no subtitles, it has no interactive graphics. So what we're doing is we're looking for our menu. And MPLS 001, which is actually the second one, same thing, video, audio, no subtitles, no interactive graphics. So now let's go to 2, and lo and behold, it's got interactive graphics. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find this one, and what this says is this is actuality. It's clip 0002, and that when we get to actually look inside the files, we're going to find out that this corresponds to M2TS number 2 as well, or 0002. Actually, it's the third one. So we're not going to need this again. The only reason we did that is so that we could find out which of them was the menu. So now let's take a look, and we're going to go here to the original Blu-ray. And I'm going to do a Russian version of it. And all I really did was I copy and pasted these files, or these folders rather, the BD, MV, and the certificate folders. And I copied and pasted those over here in the Russian version. Initially, I didn't change anything from the original Blu-ray. So we're going to go in here. Now we're going to go into the stream file. Again, we're not going to go into anything else. And what we see is we've got 2 regular video files. And then we've got 0002.m2ts, which in actuality is our menu. Notice that it's 10 seconds long. It's 714 kilobytes. Very, very important. Because when we're all done at the other end, we're going to want this is an English version of it. We're going to want a Russian version that has exactly the same characteristics. Now, FFmpeg is very useful for this particular thing. So notice I'm here in that same directory. We're going to do FFmpeg, and we're just going to use as input that file without any other parameters, and it's going to tell us all about the streams and things. So notice that it says, okay, it couldn't do all this different stuff. It's got an MPEG. It's got this particular color scheme. It's at 1920 by 1080. It's got this SAR and DAR, 29.97. And this is what it says about the audio. So the reason I bring all that up is, in actuality, I use FFmpeg, so you need to write all of this down, so later when you remux or transform your video, make sure it matches exactly, it matches exactly, it matches exactly what's in that particular, what that particular file said. So I don't need that right now. We'll see what we do here in a second. So what I did is I wanted to demux that. And it turns out that this is actually just one frame. It's just one frame that's repeated. It's essentially a JPEG or a BMP that's repeated for 10 seconds. So what I did is I created a batch file, and it would not let me it would not let me go directly from an M2TS out into the either the pictures or anything else. So what I had to do was I had to turn it into an M2V, which for whatever reason was easier for FFmpeg to handle. And I guess this is a little bit of an edge case anyway, where it's just a single picture. I stopped it so I could check that file out. And then I turned this into a single BMP because that's all it was anyway. And very, very straightforward. I'll go ahead and put those in the comments. When I ran this, I ended up with this. And if we take a look at that, so it's just cool movies, music creation, text to speech. That's it. That's all the menu was. And the interactive graphics are just things that surround these. So when I click on them, I can interact with them. That's why this has to be exactly the same. Everything has to be lined up exactly the same, so that you fool the Blu-ray into thinking that this was the original menu. So when we went out here, you see that original one, I went ahead and created a Russian version of it, and all of those who speak Russian, which are many, many of our viewers, by the way. Over half of my subscribers are from places that formerly spoke Russian, so either as the principal or secondary language. So I know there are a lot of you out there who are converting things into Russian or Ukrainian, etc. So this is, you'll appreciate that I took the time to actually convert it into the correct version of Russian. And at the other end of that, I set up a little batch file through FFmpeg to take that BMP and turn it into a 10-second long, matching all of the things like the color space, etc. See that all of that matches? Matchy, matchy, matchy. Oops. got overzealous. And then I made it only 10 seconds long, and I named it that. So that's this file. And oddly enough, it's exactly the same size, everything. It's 10 seconds long. And I just took that and replaced the stream file with it. And what I'm going to show you next is I am going to come back and I'm going to show you the original, and I'm going to show you the Russian version, that they both are identical. Okay, here we are back, and I've got Coral Win DVD, and it is now going to look at our Blu-ray. And notice that this is the original English version of it. I'm going to go ahead and eject this, and I will show you the Russian version that we just produced. And it'll take just about 30 seconds for it to read the Blu-ray. It takes a while to read the structures. But I will show you that it is identical. And that is all there is to doing it. Now, I will, once I show you this, I want to talk a little bit about how you burn it, because there's a couple different ways. I'm a huge, look at this, ta-da, ta-da. Look, works perfect. Okay, so that that is all that there is to it. Now, the tricky part about this particular conversion was that it had that version of the menu that was just a single picture that was embedded into an M2TS, and that was actually a little complicated to deal with. Most of the time, what you're going to do is you're just going to demux it into your regular video stream, and then you're going to put an overlay on top of it. I'm not going to, unless you need me to show you how to do that. I believe that the vast majority of you have the capability to do overlays already, or if you're to the point where you're working on Blu-rays and doing BD edit, etc., you are well sophisticated enough that you know how to do overlays and things, and you probably know how to do it 3 times as effectively as I do. I want to talk a little bit about burning Blu-rays. So I'm a big believer in image burn, where you can either write an image file to disk. If you have an image writer for Blu-rays, you can do the folders. Now the thing is, some of these kind of fancy things, like having a single picture, or I'm about to do a series of videos on advanced DVD programming. If you try to do an image burn, it gets confused. In this particular case, when I tried to burn the Russian version of it with image burn, it got confused and it didn't work. It said there was an interlace error. So what I did a while ago, mostly for my commercial CD production. By the way, if you love Dr. Games, you want me to make more of these videos, buy my music. I use the Nero burning ROM, and a relatively new version. I got 2017. You go here to Blu-ray, and you click on New, and then you drag and drop the files in here. I'll show you what that looks like, actually. So we'll use the Russian version. I'm not actually going to burn it again, but you just drag and drop them in there. And then what it does is it does some error checking. It eliminates the files that are not allowed to be in there, and it actually recreates the structures. So when you try to do kind of more fancy stuff, I find that Nero, which is not free, but it's not that expensive either. I mean, you're talking about less than $100 US, but it does an amazing job. But for many of the things, for the professional applications, you have to use something like Nero to burn it. And that is about that. So thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe, and if you would like to see other videos or clarifications, please say that in the comments. Thank you very much. Have a great day.